our second video where we think about art in TOK, and we wanted to make these videos a little bit shorter for you. So in the previous video we talked about realism, and then how Impressionism was a response to photography. So when photography came along, very much challenged the whole role of realism. A photograph could do that. Do remember though that a photograph also has its subjective and objective elements to it. There's a video on my YouTube channel that looks about subjectivity and objectivity in photography. So Impressionism very much emerged as a reaction against the photographic representation. Perhaps art reinvented itself so it's still relevant in the age of technology. So we looked at specific things, capturing transience and perception rather than precise detail, emphasising the physical act of painting, prioritising perception and sensory perception. Lovely video here which talks about Impressionism. So it's redefining what art is, and we're redefining what good art is. So here, a Sunday afternoon on the island of La Grande Jatte. Redefinition of what art is. Is this a good piece of artwork? Certainly a realist would not say it was a good piece of artwork, but it's not a realist piece of artwork. It is a impressionist piece of artwork. So we can see how technology has really changed what constitutes good art, what constitutes artwork, and the knowledge that it generates. So then we moved on. Photocopier, a comparatively recent invention. I can remember when photocopiers were not common in schools. When I went to school, you didn't have very many photocopiers at all. So then it adds an extra layer into what exactly art is. If you can reproduce something so quickly with a photograph, again with a photocopy, again it raises important questions. Does a good copy have the same artistic value as the original? It's a carbon copy, exact copy. Andy Warhol, his very famous Campbell's soup cans, investigated this idea, redefined what art is, embraced that idea of consumerism and being able to replicate things very, very quickly. Some really interesting videos here. He embraced in his artwork consumerism and popular culture, repetition and serial production, questioning authority and authorship, who actually does own the copyright to the work on Campbell's soup cans. So there's some interesting videos there that you would ask to look at. You probably didn't look at all of those videos. If you haven't looked at this video here, which is looked at his influence on subsequent art movements, I would suggest that you do have that video. Look at that video, because Andy Warhol's work went on to find popular art, pop art, but conceptual art, minimalism, and even contemporary street art and design. Changing things again, we had a look at artificial intelligence. We made no secret of the fact that a considerable amount of this website was used with the assistance of artificial intelligence. As a teacher, artificial intelligence has really redefined how I do my job, redefined what it is to be a good teacher. So teachers are not immune from this technology. I have used artificial intelligence all the way through writing this website. So we had a look at some Harry Potter videos, Harry Potter and Vietnam. There's a whole series of them, videos in the style of Harry Potter. We then had a little bit of fun where we asked AI to write a story in the style of Island School based on the principal's speech. Quite interesting what it came up with. If you didn't like that, you were given the option of looking at another AI generated chapter in the style of Harry Potter. I think the important question here is from the point of view of the author. It raises quite a few important questions. Is it a valid thing to do? Is it an ethical thing to do? If you use artificial intelligence to write a whole book, who actually owns the copyright? Is it J.K. Rowling? Is it the artificial intelligence company? Is it the artificial intelligence bot itself? Is it you? So it raises really difficult questions about what is art, who owns it, and the knowledge that it generates. So we asked you to consider some extension questions. Can this AI-generated chapter of Harry Potter be considered a work of art? And then we asked you to think about authorship. So then to wrap up, you had some extension questions there. We thought about the concept of originality. Do remember, artists have always copied each other. So the question of, or the issue of artists copying each other is not new. We just have new and faster ways of copying artwork and replicating it. And then that brought us on to thinking, and we're going to think about this in a bit more detail in future lessons. Can art be produced by a computer? If it can, then what is the role of humans? If it's generated by a computer, is it art? So we're going to dig down into a bit more detail about the concept of digital art and how that's again fundamentally redefining and reshifting the ways that we think about artwork.